And a very good morning from Jamaica. Yes, surprise, surprise, yeah. Booked a couple of weeks ago, the price was just right. I'm just on the beach in front of the hotel in the first morning, and there is a starfish. Let me get some video of that for the vlog. Obviously, there's going to be a corresponding vlog. Wow, yeah, it's beautiful. We've been here in 2007 and back at the same hotel, not on purpose, but I like the area. I remember it was very green. And even way back then, before I was a birder, I got some bird pictures. On the beach here, there were great white egret, yellow-crowned night heron, frigate birds. I didn't get a picture of those, and pelicans. Right, it's the first time I've been here in 18 years. It looks a lot less, right? They've kind of cleaned it up, boarded it off. So you can't walk to the right of the cove of the beach. I can't walk as far as I used to. You could go a bit more into the natural bit, and that's got a metal fence. Okay, well, nature's going to be able to grow there, which is fine. Allow some, natural, the birds, because I've just been out and had a red woodpecker type bird. I'm just opening my phone now to see if we can, not Shazam, I nearly said Shazam it. You don't Shazam birds, you Shazam music. But yeah, it was calling, and I got some video handheld. Then I went tripod. The wind is very low here, so exceptionally good for video. Excellent. I'm happy about that. A little bit quiet at the moment. It was very busy at the airport last night. I've got lots to cover. Right, okay, so I used my dot sight to catch this bird flying by, and I got it. It absolutely nailed it. Open the app. Let's have a look if you're any good. Yeah, it's got like a red back of the head, a white face, and a sort of greyish slate body, lighter underside. Okay, open the Merlin. Photo, choose photo. I'm using a VPN anyway, it's just so when I'm on the Wi-Fi of the hotel. Right, okay, this might be up. Golden-fronted woodpecker, and the second choice is a Jamaican woodpecker. It looks more like the Jamaican with the red, but yeah, why did it get that so wrong? Because it's got a red head. Jamaican would make it a lifer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw it through Google Lens. I find Merlin actually really, it should be a lot worse than this. Sorry, so I'm doing two things at once here. Merlin should be a lot better at birds. It makes a lot of mistakes. Google Lens, come on, take your time. Maybe I've not got a good signal out here. I'm hoping, considering where we are, and I've just seen two of them, that it's a Jamaican woodpecker. Right, this is taking too much time. I've obviously, right, yeah, it says Jamaican woodpecker, so we've got our first lifer of the day. Awesome. So what's going on? On the left there, I can hear music being played already. And where were we? Right, okay, so what happens is when we come to a place like this, I get our luggage, go to the bus, drop the luggage of the bus driver, and I ask him anyway, because my wife isn't doing it, how long before we drive off? And he tells us like 20 minutes, half an hour. And half an hour, he told us. So I said, I'm just going to go walk around. I showed him the lens. I said, I'm just going to take some bird pics, because don't waste the opportunity at the airport. There could be things in those trees you might not get back at your area. And straight away, mockingbird coming into the tree above my head. I couldn't see if it was a tropical or a northern, but so just checking my microphone's working there. But it's a very scruffy mockingbird. Then over by the bins, some sort of light brown dove landed. I'm not familiar with it. I mean, I would have gone ruddy ground, but it's not bronzish enough, and it was too big. Up on the roof of the airport, purple pinkish dove. Reminds me of the Zenaida doves from St. Lucia, but they might be endemic to St. Lucia. Do they get this far? I'm not sure. Multiple. Oh, hello. What was that? Something just flew over my head, making a bit of a. Did I just spook something? No, I'm not catching that. It's gone right into the sun. Right, where are we? So I get back to my train of thought. Right, the thing's flying. I've got to be on the ball here and catch them. And yeah, above the hills to the east of the airport, there were multiple raptors, and I got a picture of one that I thought might be a sparrowhawk, and it was a American kestrel. And on the coach ride back to the hotel, lots of American kestrels. So there'll be no shortage of them here, and I'm hoping that there'll be some by the hotel at some point. Lots of places for them to perch. And the grey kingbird, loads of grey kingbirds all along the route, like from St Lucia. That was the main bird that was there. All the wires had them, all the trees had them, dead trees, they're all perched on the top of dead trees, and there was one catching bugs on the airport fencing. I saw some sort of buzzard. I'm not sure if it's a red-tailed hawk or if it's another Jamaican species of buzzard, because over this side of the world, the red-tailed hawk is the equivalent of the common buzzard over in Europe. And there were other things. I never got my camera on quick enough. They could be turkey vultures. I'm guessing out this way, you always get turkey vultures. We're going to see them for sure. Yeah, other things I couldn't quite expose my camera for. They're a bit distant, even with my 4K crop. Other things along the route, on the coach, I noticed things like annies. I'm not sure if they're groove-billed or smooth-billed, but I know they're annies from the tail shape and the beak shape and the way they fly, because I've seen them in 2 or 3 different Caribbean places. The cattle egret was starting to pop up, snowy egrets, laughing gulls. I'm assuming laughing gulls out here. There won't be any other kind of gulls really, except terns. I think we definitely did see terns of some type, but we were just passing this pier very quickly, so I never had time to get a camera on them. But I'm assuming that where they're perched, they are going to be like royal terns and the sandwich terns and things like that, little terns out here. Let me get my phone just to confirm what some of the other bits were. Oh, sandpipers going along the water, bits of water that popped up, bits of sea, bits of inlet, ponds, I don't know, reservoirs. And they're going to be, the sandpipers are going to be either spotted or solitary out here. Like I said, cattle egret, snowy egret. The snowy egret is the equivalent of the little egret out in the UK and Europe. Out here we have it's very subtle, the legs. And what else? Oh, he went for a walk up there and a can of beer. Okay, I'm smelling weed here. So I think I don't keep up to speed with it, but it must be legal because I've smelt it even at the airport and around the hotel. So people are up to it and it's being accepted. Frigate birds, past some ponds. Yeah, I think that about wraps it up. We've hopefully caught up. Sorry, it's a bit rambling. I've got to remember I've got video to take, photos to take. I'm seeing birds moving around. There's something landed in an island over there. It's probably a pelican. Let's get my camera on it and see. Out that way, it's got to be a pelican. Let's have a look. Yeah, okay. We'll take some 4K crop of that, just so we record it. Has something whistling. The funny thing is that sounds like it sounds like a chiff-chaff. Anyway, I think we've caught up, and I apologise if it's good. It's going to be very these things are going to be very scatty as I try to capture things right. I better go because things are starting to pick up. I'm just walking down the beach a bit to see there's a bit more vegetation down the bottom, and there's a whistling noise coming from this tree that sounds like a chiff-chaff. So there's something small in there. Can you imagine it be a chiff-chaff blown off course and just happens to be the bird I'm looking for? I can hear a dove. What would that dove? I'm trying to remember. It's been about 1.5 years since I've been to the Caribbean, and a lot of these sounds, they're recognizable. I know I've heard them before, but I couldn't tell you what they are exactly. I think that call might have just been a collared dove, because they made the same call all over. But what was this? I'm just moving around these massive palm trees trying to see if there's anything obvious moving around in this tree. Yeah, I'm just trying to mask the sun as much as possible because it gets very hot. Oh, that sounds like a collared dove, whatever that was, but yeah, it could get very hot very quickly. So they're just sweeping up the beach. Obviously, everyone must have gone hard last night. There's about 1 person on the beach, which is good. It means I get the beach to myself in the mornings. Yeah, I don't know if I said we were going to, oh, hang on, it flew up, something flew up. Wasn't quick enough. That was probably the collared dove though, it's about the right size. Let me just see if my camera's still lined up. Yeah. Yep, and I've just tapped it with my bloody, yeah, all right, we're still lined up. Yeah, luckily my wife, it was too cold last night. And we had the air conditioning on. I think all the hotels usually have air conditioning on. And the big worry when you come to these places is that air conditioning is going to make the camera full of cold air. You step outside and then it mists up, and it can take 20 minutes to stop it being misted. And one of the little tricks I've got, I tried it in Costa Rica, was go to the public bathroom with the, I mean, yeah, you could use a hairdryer. You have to be very, 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 very careful. I'm saying this now, I'm warning you to be very careful. Don't attempt this at home. But I go to one of the public toilets in the hotel and use the hand dryer. Keep it distant, and then if you're lucky enough to have a zoom, it's going to be difficult with impossible with a prime lens, is zoom the lens back and forward to sort of push the air that's inside out and suck the warmer air in. And that makes it happen a lot faster. Yeah, be warned, kids. That's you do that at your own risk, but that's what I do to get rid of the moisture a bit quicker. So I've just got these bands are a bit itchy. Is they? Maybe I've got this too tight. Yeah, I've got the band on my ankle is way too tight. And I thought something had bit me. The ankle bracing is just too tight and is digging into my skin. Oh yeah, it's leaving a real flesh wound. Yeah, they're not made to go around the leg. I can already hear a couple of different chirps, and they're definitely smaller birds. Nice to hear the music. Right, I've just realised the only problem with this is I wonder if I'm okay picking up music on my podcast. I know YouTube won't allow it, so I've got to be aware that when I record my vlogs, I can't have any music playing because they'll be demonetized very quickly. Right, we're getting into the main restaurant area. And there are more trees, so there's going to be more things coming around for scraps. Right, so we just had a great white egret fly over, a couple of those, and some doves that are very Caribbean looking. I don't think they're collared doves, but I'm only getting the underside, so I can't catch them. But there's another, I've got to reel on my ball here. Yeah, so the species list is going up. I think I've got another lifer. There was a bird calling, the bird that, I think it was making the chiff-chaff call. And it looks like a yellow-throated warbler if the Merlin app has got it correct. And that would be a lifer. I'll have to check back through because I'm starting to get things like yellow-throated and other yellow warblers, Tennessee warblers and things that I've got in Costa Rica. Yeah, you've got to be careful with some of these. The other problem is the birds, often a lot of birds can have two different names, and where you think you've got a lifer, because it comes up with a different name. It's not, it's the same bird, but they just call it something different. Even in the same country, it can be something different. Like there's the fan-tailed warbler, and then there's the Zitting cisticola, and some people laugh at one and some people laugh at the other. But I was trying to get video of it. I got a little bit of it handheld, and it was awful. And I thought that the best thing for identification is photos. So I was inside a tree moving around, and I fired off. I just was firing off with my electronic shutter mode, and it did land in some really good spots for lighting and for ID purposes. And once it had landed still, I moved on to video, and it did sit on a leaf for what felt like about 30 seconds. Okay, yeah, it's definitely busier down this end. I prefer the other end. This is good. We're just going to have a wander down. There's a load of boats on the left side of the beach, which when I was here last time, they just said, "Sir, do you want to go out for a ride?" and all that. And we're going to go down there because it's the vegetation. I can already hear more birds. Yeah, this vegetation down here is definitely different. There's going to be stuff here. So let's get to it. Let's have my A game on. Of course, what sounded like several birds is one European starling of all the things. I was looking at this tree for ages. Nothing was moving. It was really weird. And then I finally saw a black bird. It's a starling, of course. The sound, it did sound very, very familiar. But yeah, it must be making the call of several other birds. What are you? Something else just landed. It's got to be another starling. Oh, hang on. What are you? You're not a starling. You've got too white of a throat. Ooh, quick. Get it. Oh, I think it's the woodpecker. Yeah, it's the woodpecker. It looks very, very hot. Right, yep, got some nice sharp pictures. Gone down to 200th of a second, 1600 ISO. And his tongue sticking right out. Lovely jubbly. Yeah, this is a really good tree here. Let me get some tripod footage of this. You know what? I'm gonna... oh, it's moving around. Okay, it's gonna have to be handheld. It's upside down. Right, I've got these settings. I've got to be on my ball with these settings. Are terrible. Okay, we're not going to spend too much time on these Jamaican woodpeckers because they're obviously resident here. And I do want to start getting other birds ticked off. Yeah, I think it's just literally about 5 different calls coming from that starling. Very good evening, folks. We've just come to the end of the first day, and I'm trying to get some of these Antillean swifts. Greater Antillean, what did I get? Let me write these down. Antillean palm swift, which is a lifer. They're all over the place. I might have seen them in other countries like St. Lucia, but I wasn't quick enough to catch them. With my dot sight, I'm getting them. I haven't got any amazing keepers as of yet, but we've got some good ones, some okay ones. Unfortunately, because the sun is quite low, I'm working at 8,000 ISO, and I'm looking at the main road at the back of our room, which is great because it looks out over this. It looks like a jungle. It's fantastic. So to the left, we can see the sea, and then we've got some greenery in front, and then this jungly area on the other side of the road. So I get a bit of everything from here. Can't complain about that. So it's been a very busy day. We've come to the end of the first day. We've just been chilling in the pool. The pools here are bath water, and so is the sea. We had a swim. And since I last spoken to you, I found out that the yellow-throated warbler is not a lifer because I did get it in Cancun. So that's out the window. I thought it looked familiar, and I couldn't remember which of my holidays I'd seen it on. And as we were going to our first lunch, my wife said, "Oh, look." And there was the juvenile yellow-crowned night heron just standing on some rocks, looking at something, looking like a statue. And it wasn't until I started taking photos of it that everyone started looking and going, oh, there's a bird there, because it wasn't a statue. It stood very, very still, and people walking past 3 feet away. And the last time I saw one of these juveniles, it took a crab out of a hole on the beach in Dominican Republic. So it was obviously looking for either a lizard or a crab to emerge from these rocks it was standing on. I've started seeing the parakeets flying over, and they're being identified on Merlin and Google Lens as olive-throated parakeets, which I've checked, and I've got them in Cancun. So another lifer, it isn't. So they've got these little blue bits on the wing. It could be a mis-ID, but I think it's quite accurate. Then royal terns, I saw a royal tern fly past, and then eventually I saw them on the top of this floating boat that was moored. A pelican landed. I think they're great eastern pelican. Wait a minute, let me get this right. Eastern brown pelicans, I think that's the species here. And it landed on a boat along with several royal terns. I'll have to examine them a bit more in the video to see if there are any other species there, like a subspecies of a sandwich tern or something like that. What else? With lots of frigate birds. One did come down quite low and hugged the tree line, and when it went up, there was a storm in the background before the rain came in, and it flew up against these beautiful dark grey clouds, but the bird was lit up really nicely. So that's going to really look beautiful in 4K if you look at it on a 4K screen. We've definitely got an American kestrel. I had a funny feeling this was going to be the case. There's an American kestrel resident, at least one, on the hotel. It swooped past me on the back path, landed on the building, and I took some video and photos from a distance, and then noticed people were just walking underneath it. So I got underneath it, waited and waited for it to look at me, which it didn't. So I just took some video and photos handheld, and when I go out at some point in the next week, I'll get my tripod and get some nice steady footage of it. And a new lifer for sure, I think, is a white-crowned pigeon. We went for a walk down the Crescent Beach, past all the shops, a little bit of hassle, but everyone's kind of friendly. I think the camera gets a bit of attention, and I say I'm looking for birds, and there's a mixture of, well, I'm a bird, take a picture of me, and like, what birds? Okay, sure, if you want to do that sort of thing. And there's a flock of these white-crowned pigeons. Now, the photos I got were juveniles, and I'm annoyed I didn't go for the adult, but I did get the adult, a good bit of video of the adult with the juveniles, I believe, didn't have the full crown, but the adults did, and they looked pretty magnificent. I will give them that. I'm starting to see cliff swallows. I believe I got cliff swallows in Dominican Republic, so that's not going to be a lifer. Haven't got any great photos of those anyway, but again, I don't think it's a lifer. But with the white-crowned pigeon, I think that gives me 4. So the Antillean palm swift, the loggerhead kingbird, and the Jamaican woodpecker makes me 4 lifers. Good. And banana quits. Finally got some banana quits. No, I don't think many of these are going to be keepers. I think I managed only one that had the eye sharp, because I was using a really low shutter speed because they were in the tree, and I was getting hassled by the shopkeepers. So I was trying to move along quickly before they, trying to get me to buy stuff. So I was like getting the pictures to move on. And so I'm just reading a list here to get through, because it's the end of the day, and I want to get these podcasts and vlogs done for each day before I go to dinner. And then finally, we went to a pool to get a drink, and when we were watching the show, noticing dozens of pelicans all over the ground, on the bar, on tables eating food, and noticed people walking past and went, okay, let's see if this happens, because somebody told me a few years ago that they went to Gambia and they had cattle eating out of their hand. I went, okay, I'm finally going to get my chance. So I went over to the bar. There's one of these in between lunch and dinner. They have a cafe that has all the burgers and hot dogs and jerk chicken you can eat all day long. So I grabbed the chip, took a few bits off and put them in my hand. And it happened. The first one I got, it took one piece. I tried to break it off another and it wasn't having it. And then another one came up off the ground. I could just tell the body language that it was a lot more comfortable. And it saw what happened. It's like, I want some of that. So I got a feed off of 2 different birds. And that's a great little moment. I pulled my camera out and faced the bird. And I don't know if they were like looking at it going, is he going to grab me with something? But they looked a bit skittish. But they fed me. They fed out my hand. I'm pretty happy with that. And that's a nice little life goal. I get a bucket list thing to have a cattle eat anything other than blue tits and sparrows. And I think, we're up on the balcony now. It's kind of rained very, very, very light drizzle for the last sort of hour and a half, which meant I couldn't really go out for a walk. And I'm having to do the podcast from my balcony. You might be able to hear the sound echoing off the balcony walls. And that sound, if you can hear it, I believe it's frogs, which we heard in St. Lucia. I thought it was unique to St. Lucia, but it's very, very loud here as well. I think that's a good sum up to a good roundup. I think that those doves I saw earlier, I did get them on the beach. I think they are Zenada doves. I think that's how you pronounce it. And I thought they were endemic to St. Lucia, and maybe not. And what was it? I've got a brown dove as well. I'm going to have to check what that species is. Maybe it was a juvenile of this. I'll have to go through the pigeon species of Jamaica and see which ones I got today, because there was definitely 3 or 4 different versions. I'm snapping everything that goes by. But a good roundup. We've covered everything now, and I can log off and call that day one done. I'm going to call the day we arrived last night and today day one, because it's about the same number of hours. It's a 24-hour cycle. Speak to you soon. Good morning, campers. The start of my second day in Jamaica, and I've just taken a bit of video of one of my lifers from yesterday, the white-crowned pigeon, a very scruffy looking individual, if I do say so myself. And the other thing I spotted is some sort of oriole. Now there are so many and they look so similar. You've got the streakback, the Baltimore, the golden, the orange, lots. So I don't know what it is. And it was 4K crop on video and quite backlit, so difficult to tell for sure. But I'm out on the main road this time because all the action seems to be happening at the tree line. And I've just had I should have been on that like a shot. I've just had some northern mockingbirds fighting in midair, and I should have caught that in a photo. Actually, I say northern mockingbirds, I don't know if they're tropical. Looking at them, my sort of half my instincts tell me tropical. Oh, I've got to get that. They're having a little scrap, but it's behind a fence. I might be able to get a photo of that. That would be an awesome capture. I've got my dot sight ready to go. I was watching it happening, saying, brain, hello, you should be faster than this. Right, here we go. At the top of the thing. Let's see if I can get them. Right. Come on. Come on. Yeah. That was a little bit. Now, did I get that? Hold on. They're still scrapping. Do it again, please. On top of the cars. I better zoom back a bit. That's them. You can hear them. Right, yeah, they're fighting all the way through the trees. This will make a great picture if I can catch it. I cut it. I got the 2 birds flying. I've got one bird flying sharp, which is good, but I've cut the other bits. The ones with 2 in the frame, I've cut them by accident. I've cut the top off, right. So I might have needed to zoom back a bit more. Right, okay. Should be a bit more on the ball with that, Justin. Okay, so I'm going to carry on down here. It seems this is going to be the best place, and I better get it done in the morning while the sun is covered by the clouds a bit. Right, yeah. Are they still fighting? Yes, they are. Right, okay, come on, get on this, get on this, get on this. They're on top of a bush in front of me on the other side of the road. One's calling. Where's the other one? There's a lot of stuff in the background, the building, the trees. It's not going to make for good. And something small just flew across the road. That could have been a grass quit or something. Very exciting, yeah. I got up this morning at 5:45, and I was a bit worried that I'd got most of the birds, but I think this tree line is going to provide a lot of good stuff if I can get up early enough to see it and get out here for the first 2 hours or so. Right, it's really kicking off pretty well. I caught them in midair, a bit distant, but it's useful for reference on the vlog when I do the vlog. And we've got one of the loggerhead kingbirds. I've just filmed a bit of it. It made a screeching call, and it's at the top of the tree. I'm waiting for it to come out, and I grab a shot with my dot sight flying. I've just caught a pigeon flying by. I'm taking photos of everything to check, and it was the white-crowned pigeon. So I've got my first flight shot of one of those. I was trying to get it at the tree yesterday. Okay, what's going on behind me? That's something flying over. I'm just checking in my camera. That is I think that's another loggerhead. Well, yeah. I think it might be another loggerhead. The Antillean palm swifts. Yeah, are zooming around. Awesome. So far, this tree line is going to be the thing, I think. The hotel's quiet. You can hear all the action on the other side of the road here. Awesome. I have got my first green heron of the trip in my sights, and there are no ponds as far as I can see. Got it locked on the tripod. It's currently standing on one leg. Boy, it's getting hot out here. I was just trying to get these little yellow birds in these trees, and there's definitely 4 or 5 of them, and they've flown over to the hotel, so at least I know they go over there, which is good. It would save me coming out here. But I can't tell. They're not. I don't think they're warblers. I think they're some sort of vireo. I think it's a very slightly different looking bird. Okay, I think we've taken enough of that. Yeah, I think that's another great white egret going over the road there on the left. Yeah, the palm swifts are flying around. I've got to get out of this heat. My gosh. Yeah. You get a bit, I'll deal with the sunburn afterwards when you're in this birding game. But I've got to get a SIM. I tried to get one at the airport for my second phone to use as a hotspot, and the booth was closed, so I haven't had a chance to get one. I'll take my Anna to church in about, what time is it? In about an hour or so. And maybe down that way they've got somewhere that's got them. I'll ask at the hotel front desk. Yeah, if you come out this, what I do is I use a second phone. I always have a second phone in the UK. A cheaper phone, just an iPhone 8, and I have it on a separate network. And then when I travel, I get a SIM card. I don't understand the eSIM. I've tried it on my Vodafone, and it says it can't do it. So it might be, I think maybe my phone's locked. I'm not sure. But for now, I use it. I mean, the eSIM is more expensive anyway. If you get a SIM card, you go to another country, it can be just a few dollars, and you can get several gigabytes, and use a second phone as a Wi-Fi hotspot when you're out and about. I've done videos on this. If you look back, Stormcab Birds, Wi-Fi hotspot, second phone, things like that. I've done quite a lot about it. Yeah, the booths are there when you walk out. If you've ever walked out of an airport and you see the booths and you wonder what those are, because if you get another SIM card, you obviously can't use your mobile. So what you do is you use your phone, the other phone as a Wi-Fi hotspot, and you can use WhatsApp, Messenger, and things like that. And you just don't use the phone number. Hey everyone, right, so I dropped my wife at church about an hour ago. I'm just walking back to get her. We're about 1.5 miles or so, I think, south of the hotel, Catholic church. And luckily I brought my umbrella. Ooh, it is baking. There are a few clouds that are helping. Nothing spectacular out here. It is midday, as after all. I did see a hummingbird, but it was so brief. I was photographing something else, and I just flicked up and saw the movement, and I recognised it a mile away. But it was quite cloudy at that point, so I couldn't photograph it. But there's a hummingbird. Other than that, I got down to where I saw the Munias. Munias? No, sorry. I will say, the Merlin app, I've just seen a ruddy ground dove. That was tiny. That was definitely a ruddy ground dove. It just flew past my face. Even with my dot sight, I wouldn't have caught that. But the Merlin app has been getting scaly-breasted Munia. I think it was a rose finch, some sort of rose finch. What was the other? Black-faced grass quit. I've got those in St. Lucia and I believe Dominican Republic, maybe even Aruba as well. So all the birds, I've got these birds. It picked up a spotted sandpiper. I've checked up online, and the ibis are most likely the white-faced ibis. I got those in Las Vegas, so they look black, but they've got a tiny white bit at the front, and they're named after that one bit. And that's the bird likely to be out here. When I was first looking up black ibis in Jamaica, it was telling me some extinct thing, so it wasn't that. So I had to sort of do a bit of digging to find out what the species is here. Anything else? Just getting video of any time the kingbird or something is a layup shot, I'll take some photos or some video. I've not taken my tripod today. I didn't bring my tripod because I didn't really be walking down the street with it. It's actually quite freeing. I think I'm actually going to spend some time without my tripod here, not because it's heavy, but there are very few times I get to set the camera up. And because I'm after lifers, I need both of my hands free, and my hands need to be able to grab the camera, pick it up and get it on the bird within like 3 seconds. All right, man. Yeah, man. So I have to get it up there really quick, and the tripod is very much slowing me down. And even if I put it down and I start walking away, I have to go back and pick it up. So we're gonna leave the tripod for now. We'll try one day without it and see how we do. Just back at the church now. Am I in time? Am I at the right place? Cab waiting for us. I don't see anybody. Anything else to mention? Just some nice butterflies. So that ruddy ground dove will go on the list up. I'm not going to put any of the Merlin captures on there. I've seen them before, and even though they are here, it could be making a mistake. So they're not. I'll tell you what. I'll record them as a herd only on the app, on my little notepad of species seen and heard. Earlier I got a flock of about 7 or 8 turkey vultures distant, but I've got some footage of them finally. A lot of this stuff, even though I've got them in other countries, this is my first video footage because this is the first time I've done a vlog from the Caribbean. So a lot of this, even though I've seen it, I'm thinking, wait a minute, I've got this already. No, you haven't. I've got photos, but I haven't got video. Anyway, the love down here looks lovely. It's it's a lot busier, a lot more action. But we're back now, so we'll catch up later. Right, we've just finished the second day on the beach. Anna's gone up to get ready. That gives me half an hour just before the sun goes down to see what's going on. Gone to the roadside of the hotel, see if there's any action in the trees. I can hear a few bits and pieces, but it's nothing crazy. But I just had a great time on the beach. Little bits, nothing spectacular. As I was lying there, I knew it was a kestrel, the American kestrel, which is resident, and I'm seeing it more and more. Now I know where to look and just to recognize its flight movements. But it came down low and landed on a tree, and I was right out of my seat. Maybe it was 8 feet off the ground. And it let me get extremely close. It really doesn't care about humans. So I got off some shots to the point I could fill the frame by turning the camera vertical and fill it that way. And I filmed handheld as best I could. A bit of excellent news is I got flight shots of the American kestrel because of the dot sight and because I practiced on that red-footed falcon at Elmley. I got plenty of practice with raptors, and it just nicely flew from the tree it was in front of me to the tree to the right of me. And about 2 or 3 of these shots are going to look absolutely awesome in the vlog. And it was on a further tree on the beach having a preen. I got ready for it. I knew it was going to emerge from behind this tree, but my camera refused to get any sharp photos, even though I got it in the frame a couple of times. unfortunately. So there you go. And there was a northern mockingbird landed right above our heads. My wife was sitting there with her bins looking at it, and it was singing. And it wasn't in the best of light, and underside shots are never great. But I set my dot side up with tracking, and I got some flight shots, but the branches were obscuring the landing. And the only other one that I got where it was inside the frame, maybe 90% sharp, it was nearly touching the top of the frame. I'll put it in the vlog, but it won't be a keeper unless it cleans up really nicely. I'll see how it goes. But I got a nice flight shot earlier in the day when I was trying to get the two together, and it's got a background instead of a whiteout background. I got to just now. This one earlier had the colour of, I think, trees and the building in the background with its wings outstretched to eye level, which is great. So there's nothing down this end, but I'm going to start walking up towards the reception area. I don't see anything flitting about here. We'll walk that way. Little lizard running across the ground. Will I bother getting a video of you? I'll get my, if you hold still, let me see if I can, settings. Yeah, okay, he's going to let me film him. I've got to up my ISO. Oh, he's got a little, yeah. Oh, just holding my breath there. He's got one of those, he's a very plain looking lizard, maybe 3 or 4 inches long. But as I was filming him, he was black camouflage on the rock. He had that little red neck pouch that comes out. Fantastic. So I was glad I filmed that because that'll be a nice little addition. So I'm holding my breath to try and keep the camera steady as much as possible. And on the water, I couldn't get any great shots. I mean, I'll crop into this. I didn't fit the whole bird in the frame, but the eastern pelican, brown pelican, was flying by, and I managed to get some flight shots. And I'll crop in. Hello, what was that? Something on the right was making a little chirp. But I'll crop in, it's sharp, and it'll be usable in the vlog. But I've got some spectacularly good ones in Costa Rica and Dominican Republic, and yeah, they gave me a great show out there. So I'm not bothered about this one here. I've got my if it wants to put on a better show at some point during the stay, I'll take it. But for now, it's not providing any good shots, any flight shots in good lighting. Right, so we're going to head towards reception and see if we see anything different. Morning, everyone. I'm on the main road, so it might get a bit noisy. It's Monday, the 22nd of September, and my third full day, the start of my third full day in Jamaica, in Negril. And I walked along the main road north because I wanted to get to the North Negril River. It's the closest bit of water nearby, so it's my best chance to see anything unusual. And it's been really good, actually. There was literally nothing on the road up except, I'll throw the pictures in the vlog as usual, the kingbirds, the loggerhead kingbirds, white crown pigeons. What's that? It's just a tan. So I'm just keeping an eye on the river. I've got to come out again and wear lotion because I brought an umbrella because I didn't want to put lotion on. I just wanted to get out of the door. And the sun unfortunately hits the bridge and cooks you. So, but what else? On the way up here, nothing much else. There was the kind of house and estate on the left. I thought, can you walk through there? And you can't. It's a gated community. It juts out just above our hotel on the north bit of the Negril. And I was hoping for all the birds have been over that side. There was the oriole again. I still can't identify which oriole it is, whether it's a yellow, a golden, an orange yet. I don't know. I was trying to get closer, and by the time I crossed the road, it was gone. And the usual stuff, the northern mockingbirds, a couple of them having a little fight. Oop, I don't know what that was, but I'm trying to run across the road to catch it. What was that? That was a noise. What was that noise? Am I going to scare whatever it was? What were you? I'm just looking over the bridge on the west-facing side. I just missed that. It looked like a mongoose or something. There was a car coming across the road, so I couldn't get it. Right, all the action seems to be here. I'm not quick enough to catch some stuff, but when I got to the bridge, it was fantastic because I got my closer green herons. I got a couple flying using the dot sight. Brilliant. I mean, I might have got them. They were slow enough that I might have got them, but I wouldn't have got as many, and I wouldn't have had as many to choose from. And then a flock of them, I couldn't believe it. And there's no, hello? He's just giving me a wave. There was a flock of them. They just appeared from my right. And there must have been about 10 or 12. I could only get 2 in the frame at most. I was obviously this is when the 200 to 800 fails a bit. You can't get flocks of birds in. But I only got briefly. By the time I focused on it, there was a big flock of, I say big, maybe 12 to 15 great white egrets flying out in the sea. And I only got my camera on it just enough to get it into the vlog as a record. And then the big surprise, I knew exactly immediately, well, I didn't know the exact species, but I knew it was one of the two, the belted or the ringed. And from my last time when I saw them, and I'm trying to remember, I think this one had less color. I'm gonna go, difficult. It was quite big. And the orange underside, I'm gonna go belted. No, I'm gonna go ringed, which was the first one of those I got in Costa Rica with the orange underside. I'm gonna go ringed because it was bigger. The belted is definitely a smaller bird, and I got it flying across the water with the dot sight. There's going to be a bit of a crop, but it's nice and sharp. Hello. Yeah, this is hardcore birding. Right, I think we better start heading back because I still haven't had a chance to get a SIM card, and I told my wife about an hour and a half, and I'm out of contact completely, and I don't want her panicking. So I'm going to head back and know this is here. And I'm definitely this is going to be my morning walk now. I'm going to come over here up early for my morning walk. And something bigger took off from the tree that I thought, was that a green heron? But it was, green heron? I'm saying that right. A green heron. And sorry, I'm just looking up into the tree. Yeah, it took off from the tree and it was the size of, more like a grey or a great blue heron. And it flew away. I couldn't tell what it was, so I never managed to get a picture, but it was a big old bird. Could have been a raptor, but I don't think it had the sort of flared fingertips. So it was probably some sort of heron. All right, one last look over the bridge, and then I'm going to start heading back for breakfast. But this is an awesome little touch. I'm looking at a green heron right now. Just perched. I don't have my tripod because, I didn't say, I've decided to go for no tripod when I need both hands free, because the only way I'm getting some of these lifers, if I can catch them, flitting across the road, the small ones, is hands free. I don't have enough time to put my tripod down. So where I might have filmed this green heron from the bridge using the 4K crop, I'm gonna have to skip it. But it's good, yeah, I mean, it just would have been too much hassle taking the tripod, so that's good. I'm keeping my hands free and on the ball with birds going over. But I think we've decided not to do any. We're going to go down to the botanical garden later today. We've agreed on that, even though it's $60 in the cab, 25 minutes away, and I think $20 each to get in, so $100. Even though there's been mixed reviews on it, 1 star, 5 star. I think it's people who only give it 1 star don't see any hummingbirds, or they say it's just literally someone's back garden. The reviews are sporadic. The negative reviews are like once a month. And usually if it's once a month, you imagine how many hundreds of other people have gone through, and this one person's gone out of their way to leave a negative. It's probably because it's the $20 to get in, and it's a bit of money that, if you don't see much. Apparently like that, the plants aren't labeled, so you don't know what they are. I'm just looking at this path down to the river to my left. I'll put it in the vlog. It leads down to the river, and now I'm looking at that and I'm hearing my wife's voice saying, do not walk down that path. There could easily be a croc in those trees. And I make her right. I'm not going to end up one of those Instagram statistics like, oh, hello. Is that a bird? That's something. Oh, it's a hummer. It's a hummer. How am I going to get this? I've missed my opportunity. I wasn't quick. It was jumping in and out of the shadow and the light, and I just couldn't get my camera on the right exposure. This is when I need a setting for automatic ISO. I wouldn't have been able to take a flight shot because it was taking nectar from these flowers in the dark areas of shadow. I remember now, hummingbirds are quite loud. For the small birds, they've got a really high-pitched little chirp. Let's see if I'll sit here for a minute and see if I can try again. Damn. It did perch momentarily, but I've got to get quicker. I have got to get quicker. All I can say is it will just be a record shot because the lighting, I'm standing with the trees between me and the sun, and it will just be a shadow. I've got many, many other pictures of hummingbirds, great pictures. Anyway, we're going to leave it there. If I get it, I'll catch up with you later and I'll add anything I see on the way back. Well, literally, I only just got past the Negril sign and I've discovered a banana quit nest. I was just stopped filming. I was filming my vlog and a bird flew over my head and I was like, blast, I missed it. And it landed in the tree next to me. And I watched it sort of land at the back and then make its way towards me. I thought, that's a bit friendly. And then it disappeared into a little pile of, it looked like leaves. And oh, it's a nest. And I was looking at it, I could see through it. So it's obviously not finished because I filmed it coming back with branches and it was trying to sort of make the branches, twigs. That'd be impressive if a banana quit brought back a branch. That was great. Yeah, it was really chill. That's trying to get, I remember when I tried to get banana quits the first time in Dominican Republic, they were really skittish. And when birds are nest building, they get really tame. But and this is right by the side of the road. I mean, it could have built it it could have made the nest closer in, but it's by the road. So it's obviously a bit relaxed with all this action, the traffic and people. I mean, obviously there are no people here, but I've seen cars pull up and they're doing stuff that I won't get involved with. So, yeah, I just filmed a bit. That's great. I've got that on video, and I've filmed the call as well. We better go because my wife will literally start sort of panicking. Oh, it's 8 o'clock. Yeah, I better make a move. Yeah, I know she'll be worried now. So I gotta go. Right, good evening, everyone. We finally got to the end of day 3, and a nice little day. Went out in the morning, as you saw on the bridge. You see all the footage in the vlog, hopefully, if you go over to my YouTube channel. For all of you new listeners, Stormcab Birds on X. Everything is under the one umbrella name. So we went on the beach, we had a relaxing day, had some lunch, and then we headed off to Barney's Botanical Garden. Now, let's just go back in time a little bit. I'm going to tell you about a couple of things that will be in the vlog, and I've forgotten to mention. The lobster pot, some of the fishermen had a lobster pot, lobsters in a cage in the water, and they would pull it out and serve people walking by. They're big crabs and lobsters. You go to the vlog and look at it, a really cool bit of footage. And I think it was an American guy who was buying 2 huge lobsters. Awesome to see. And then, what was the other catch up? Yeah, I've got more footage of the cattle egrets eating out of my hand, much friendlier. And I've learned from a couple of people, they like fish. So next time I see them, I've got to get salmon. And they were literally sitting on the railing at breakfast time, 1 foot away from 2 women who told me, yeah, they like the salmon. But by the time I came out with salmon, they were gone. Let me just check my notes on my phone. Where are we? Jamaican birds. How are we? Right, okay. So while we were on the beach, we had a flock of, I nearly said Egyptian vultures, a flock of turkey vultures going over. You're going to hear a little bit of hawking going on in the background. Let's see if I can talk over it. So they were flying over in a big flock. I managed to get some videos and photos. And when we went up to our room, we were on the balcony. I was able to get a bit of eye-level stuff and the better photos. And they just showed up today and stayed around for half the day. And they were still over the woods in the back when we left for the botanical gardens later. And speaking to some staff on the beach, they were saying they call those jankros, Jankro. And they just clean up the countryside. They're good. People like them. I've learned a new thing. And this American kestrel, the resident one, had landed on a tree right next to us with people walking by. And I was getting pictures and pointing. And the staff were saying, that's called a chicken hawk. I'm like, chicken hawk? They said, yeah, they come and get chickens. And I was like, let me just check that because I can't remember if I got it the right way around. Let me check my notes. Chicken, is it in my, yeah, chicken hawk, I've got it in my notes. They said they come down and get chickens. I said, there's no way that's picking up a chicken. It's half the size of a chicken. He said, they do. But what I think's going on is they assume that the small kestrels and things like that are going to grow up to be red-tailed hawks. So they weren't convinced 2 people said the same thing. Chicken hawks, they get the chickens. They weren't convinced. I was doubting myself. So I looked online, and sure enough, the Cooper's hawk and the red-tailed hawk are chicken hawks. And they assumed that the American kestrel grows up to be that. No, they didn't know that there are like white-tailed eagles, huge birds, all the way down to pygmy kestrels. So they were happy to hear that. So a bit of education going on there. But I learned the patois term. That's the patois term is jankro for the turkey vulture. Right, what else? But it was in the tree, and I got plenty of videos, and I didn't get any photos, takeoff photos. I got those flight shots, the good ones, the other day. So that's taken care of. I'll get them if I'm out and about, if they give me another opportunity. Moving on to Barney's Botanical. Now, the reviews about that place were mixed, but mostly positive. But every sort of 3 or 4 reviews would be a 1-star saying it was small, it was someone's backyard, and they charged us $25 to get in, $25. And it was over in no time at all. There wasn't much to see. Now, is that justified? I'm going to be making a separate vlog for Barney's in particular. I got 3 separate red-billed streamers and a Jamaican mango, which are both lifers. So 4 hummingbirds I had there. There's no guarantee. They are still wild birds. You might not see them. And he saw the lens first and said, "Could you send me some pictures? I need some new pictures for my website." So fair enough, you know, that's good. It's the pride of having my photos on a website for a Jamaican excursion like that. Fantastic. And he's East German. He was telling my wife his life story while I was running around getting pictures and video. And I couldn't get any flight shots because I needed 1/4000th of a second, and these birds were landing in dark areas where I was struggling to get below 3200 ISO and 1/60th of a second shutter speed to expose the dark bits of the body. But they're all going to come out excellent. I think I've got at least 10 really good ones, and I've showed them to him, and he's pretty happy with them. What else? Nothing else. I think I heard some banana quits, but what I've done is I've videoed the whole botanical garden. I'll do a separate vlog. I'll explain the reviews, and some of them there's justification and there isn't justification. It's difficult because it depends what you're looking for. I got my birds. With those birds, I'd have happily stayed there for 4 hours, just trying to get more and more pictures and just chilling. But if you go in there expecting to see a stunningly beautiful, big, huge flowers, big, you know, huge tropical plants, it's not like that. It's a very rustic, rough around the edges garden. There's sort of planting going on. Broken bits of furniture. It's very nice. It's a very nice Caribbean back garden. So just have your expectations. When you see the vlog, you'll know what to expect when you go there. And that will hopefully be up. I'm not going to post on any of this until I'm home, obviously, but it'll be up hopefully the last week of September. Look at that. We got the eastern brown pelican just flying past us constantly. Anything more to add? No, just the Jamaican, the red-billed streamer and the mango, Jamaican mango. I thought I had the mango from Dominican Republic, but that was a plain mango, I believe. This is a Jamaican mango, so subspecies or endemic to Jamaica. So 2 lifers on that little trip. $20 each to get in as of today, and the $60 cab ride. It's okay, 75 English pounds, 70 pounds. And it worked for us. Came away perfectly happy, saw the national bird of Jamaica. And the last thing was, I thought I might catch a yellow-crowned night heron catching a crab. I filmed it for ages. It took a swipe at it, missed, and I followed it and just walked up across the path and disappeared. And that was a real shame. I would have loved to have caught that on film. But maybe I've got 3 more days here. It still might happen. And that, as they say, is that as I'm starting to get eaten by sandflies. See you tomorrow. Good morning, 23rd of September 2025, Tuesday, our 4th full day. And I'm back at the bridge. It's just coming up to 7 a.m. And I'm going to try and do this every day. I'll see how today goes. And then, what's that? Something out in the water coming in. It's probably a green heron. It's coming right at me. So let's just fire away and see what we get. Right at me. Yep, it's a green heron. Right, I think it's a young one. Yeah, how did I do? No, no, no. And yeah, birds flying towards you, autofocus, no like. Yeah, I think it was a bit dark. Yeah. It was flying in shadow, really. So nothing usable there. There you go. When it's still, the light isn't past the trees yet, so there's this balance of getting out too early. I was thinking of trying to get out a bit earlier, but have to remember, you need light. And as I'm into flight shots, that is necessary. What are you? Sorry, there's just something. I'm trying to catch the small birds. I'm looking out of the sea over the bridge between the two banks, and sometimes small birds fly across. And I think I've just had another lifer. Something flew over there. No way I caught that, did I? Oh, it is a banana quit. I didn't catch it. I got it in flight enough to identify it. It's blurry, but I know that's a banana quit. They're big here. The nest is just over the road there. But this new swallow, yeah, I don't recognize it, but it could be what I did in other countries, in other Caribbean countries, is I took pictures of all sorts of swifts and swallows that weren't great, but I just snapped them because they were kind of roughly easy to get. And I don't, hello? Well, I don't remember every single species. So a pigeon just landed on a tree, right? Yeah, just loads of the white crown pigeons. So they are everywhere. When I first saw them, I went, quick, get it. And now I see them everywhere. But it's, yeah, it's beautiful to have this all to myself, apart from the racing cars. But what we're going to do is we're going to give today a shot to see how the next hour and a half goes. We'll go back for breakfast around 8ish. And depending on if it is guaranteed, if I get more good stuff, because I do want to spend one of the mornings to go around the hotel again, because I think I'm missing a few bits there. I want to get some more pictures of the yellow-throated warblers and seeing if the loggerhead kingbirds catch any more, because that image, the video I showed my wife, the video of it eating it was dispatching it, let's use that term, to take to a chip, a little gecko, a little lizard, hitting it against the tree as if it was a kingfisher with a fish. So anything cars come, we're just going to have a look on the other side of the river. I can't, the east facing river, I can't really take any pictures there because the sun's in the background. I've had a look on the rocks for any kingfishers perched. It's, yeah, beautiful. I always think to myself in these times that, wow, I'm the only person here. I get to enjoy a bit of Jamaica all to myself. Okay, a couple of little bits of excitement. A sandpiper flew in. I got the shots off, but there's a split in the shade and the sunlight here, which means if the bird flies into the shade, I'm set up for the light and I can't react fast enough. But anyway, it flew in and thankfully it landed and I got the video on it. And out here, it's going to be either the solitary or the spotted sandpiper. So until I get it back on the computer, I won't know. It didn't have any spots, so that giveaway wasn't there. But it was on the rock for about 20 seconds. I filmed it, then it flew under the bridge and all the way down the Negril River. So I'm just talking in between these vehicles. And then I've had a few of the frigate birds going across in the distance, but they're high up. This bird that went across the horizon was lower down to the water. And once I got the bird on it, it looked like some sort of a juvenile Arctic skua. Out here, I'm not sure what it would be. I think it might be something I got in Cancun. Once I get it on the computer, I'll know. So it won't be any lifers from those two, but interesting to get video of them. Anyway, I forgot to say that we've booked a river cruise on the Negril, not the Black River, the Negril River, which is way closer. It's like a 10-minute drive from here. And we booked it through the taxi guy at the front desk. And it's about $60. It'll be about an hour. Because when we were driving back from the botanical garden yesterday, we saw the boats moored up. And I thought, why isn't there a cruise listed for our company, TUI or Rio or anything like that? And I looked up online and there was something I think called Orange Boats or Orange Cruises or something, but it had no independent reviews. So that, even though the website looked really top notch and not clunky at all, it said it was like a private tour they did for that Negril River. So I went to the front desk and asked them, I said, see the taxi guy, he'll sort you out. It was a bit more, it was $60 each instead of $50 each with him. but at least it's connected in some shape or form to the hotel. Because you have to remember with your insurance, if you don't use something connected to a company with proper indemnity or public liability or whatever, like the hotel, if something happens to you, well, you're done for. So pay a bit extra and have the security. But that's booked for 10:30 tomorrow because we did the botanical garden yesterday. We're going to have a rest today and then do the boat trip tomorrow, because when we went by, I saw loads of cattle egret in the trees. That means there'll be blue herons down there. Whoop, a bit of noise coming up, I apologise. Adds to the flavour of the podcast. Oh, hang on. What are you? A kingfisher? A kingfisher, right, okay, right. He just landed in the tree and it's, right, okay, I've got to compensate. Can I see him? Right, okay, this is, right, okay, let me just get some video. He's hidden. I'm getting him. Okay, I've got a bit of a record because he's hidden within these branches. There are a lot of fish here. Now I've got to be on my A game with my dot sight. Oh, hang on. Is he going? Right, he's just flown off. The dot sight caught him. Good. Yeah. Well done, dot sight. I got him flying. I was hoping you'd go for a fish. Right, so he's a resident here. And I believe when the Merlin app yesterday, before I opened the phone and it wiped the memory of the previous Merlin session, it said it heard a belted kingfisher. So what I thought it was a ringed kingfisher, it looks like it's belted. So that's good. I've got a little bit of the head. It landed in this tree to the right on a branch with lots of leaves. So I was only getting the head. And then I flicked to, I was going to go and try and get a better angle. Remember, the rule is if you can see it, even if you can see it very partially, film it for a record, because it could fly off and you lose the bird. Get record of anything first before you change position for a better angle. And I was just getting ready. I've got all my settings in for video and for shots in the same custom function 3. And as soon as it took off, I just flicked a photo and the dot sight was on it. Bosh. Not brilliant. I mean, there'll be a bit of cropping, but it's well lit. Excellent. Happy days. So we're off. We're running. This is truly a good spot if you're up in the Negril area. Apparently, all the best birding is over in the forests, but that'd have to be a future trip. Oh, hello. No, what are you? I think you're just a grackle. A grackle flew over and I thought it might be an Annie earlier. So I'm just watching out for, let me just compensate to see if I can. And I must remember just to pre-focus on something nearby from my dot sight, so that if something does take off, the focus is not hunting around looking for it. Well, very exciting so far. Happy days, yeah. And 7:15, we're doing okay. I think we'll head back about 8. We'll sit down to breakfast about 8:30. Oh, we just had another showing from the belted kingfisher. It must have snuck in when I got out of the sun to take a break. It is so hot. This hobby is not for the faint-hearted if you go to tropical countries. I sat on the wall in the shade at the back with enough view of the sea to see if anything was flying by. So the kingfisher must have snuck up from underneath somewhere, because when I was looking out, it took off from a tree to the left. And thankfully with the dot sight, I wouldn't have been able to do it otherwise. I got a couple of decent photos. A great white egret flew in to the right. I just took a few seconds of video of that, just to make sure it is what I thought it was, and I wasn't getting the colour wrong, and it was some other heron or egret of species I didn't know about. And a brief appearance, I got one semi-usable photo of a royal tern. Haven't had any close shots of those yet. Some Caribbean holidays I get mega close to those, and other ones I don't see them very close. But there was a flock of them on the beach yesterday, but it was on the far end, and I just didn't want to get out of my chair. It's so hot here. Yeah, I'm not going to do the birding today. After this, we'll just be on the beach covered, and we'll be getting drinks because it's just too hot. You got to be hardcore to be doing this kind of birding through the day. Right, we're heading back for breakfast now. I'm done. I'm spent. All right, speak to you later. Good morning, everyone. So Wednesday, the 24th of September, and I just had a bit of a mad session at the north side of the resort when a northern water thrush, I'm jumping forward a bit, but I just want to talk about it. A northern water thrush, it came up on my Merlin, and I was like, oh, is that making a mistake? And then suddenly it was on the fence right in front of me. And like, quick, please stay there, please. That panic of like, I'm not sure it's a lifer. Let me just say that. I might have got a photo of it in Cancun, a very bad record photo. So I got a water thrush. I don't know which one, but I think it is northern, so it won't be a lifer. But beautiful, just stood in the fence and stared at me, flew into the trees behind me, back out onto the fence and was looking for grubs. Went down, picked something up. And at the north side of the resort, there's a fence, and there's a kind of a dirt path, which is obviously for locals to walk through to the beach. And I might get some nerve and walk through that myself, because I think one of the locals did say, yeah, walk down there, there's some stuff, but it looks very grotty. I might give it a miss. I just stay behind the fence where I'm safe. But that was beautiful. And going back to last night, I'm just checking something, because there was a crazy moment when I saw this. This is definitely a life, or whatever it is. I'm just about to check it out. I'm just marking the number on my phone, 0276. Some sort of black birdie type bird flew into the tree, and I was panicking for 2 minutes trying to get it. It was very tame, but it was hidden. And I was looking at its vent, which is the bottom, for ages, and I was like, please turn your head, please turn your head. And it turned its head, snap, snap, snap. Right. What you can hear are the loggerhead, I keep forgetting them wrong, kingbird. Merlin keeps flitting between tropical kingbird and grey kingbird, and at the moment it's saying that's a grey kingbird. It's obviously a very similar call in all the kingbirds. Right, let's see what this says. Merlin, we're opening Merlin. Right, what's going on? Back, open up photo, choose photo. Right, what's going to be my lifer? Start. It asks you to name if you've not used Merlin before, it asks you to put the location, because it can narrow it down from birds that look similar if you are doing the whole world. Right, okay. It's actually saying this is pretty rare. It's called a white-chinned thrush. Dark plumage ground feeder that prefers wooded areas but also occurs in gardens and plantations. Its most distinctive features are its bright orange bill and legs. The namesake white chin is inconspicuous. Ah, there you go. Yeah, I don't see a white chin on this photo. So apparently pretty rare. Yo, thank you very much, sir. And just going back, because you're saying, what happened to the 23rd, Justin? Well, it was very quiet last night. We went on the beach. It was so, I don't understand it. I don't know if we've just getting a bit tired, but it was so hot yesterday. It was wiping us, and we just didn't want to be outside. We were going into air-conditioned restaurants, air-conditioned, back to our room and chilling in the room for a couple of hours. Just couldn't, the heat was intense, and I just couldn't do any birding. But it was mad last night. We went to dinner, and this thunderstorm came in luckily before we left the reception, and I got this mad slow-mo video. I set the phone to 240 frames a second, and you watch this lightning on the vlog. It's something to behold. The only problem is with slow-mo is you don't record the sound, unfortunately. But that's brilliant. Yeah, please try and watch that. It's like you expect Thor himself, the god of thunder, to show up just holding the lightning rod and coming down. Right, the lightning strike, sorry. The lightning rod is what directs the strike, isn't it, from other places. Right, we've got a northern, yep, is that a northern mockingbird? Yeah, northern mockingbird on the fence. They like to perch on these fences. Now, I've missed them, but I'm sure oh, hang on, is that? No, I've just seen some what I assume are going to be black-faced grass quits. And when I tried to get round them because the sun was behind them, I got a photo of them eating in these kind of seed pods dangling from the trees. But by the time I got a bit closer and moved around for better light, they must have just panicked and went. So, I mean, I've got some good photos of them, but if they were another species, I would have been a bit disappointed. Beautiful song from this mockingbird here. Now, so let me just again go back. The brown seabird, let me just check my voices. We're recording here. Yep. The brown sheer watery skua thing that I saw, I checked up, I took a screenshot from the video, and it's a brown noddy, which I saw in Cancun. I assume I saw in Cancun because it's the only thing that looks like that. So it was a record shot in Cancun, but now I have 4K video. Brilliant, I'm happy with that. Not a lifer, but there you go. But I did get a lifer when a flock of martin started flying over. And I took some pictures. They were bigger than the Antillean palm swifts, so I knew they were something. And I've been trying to get these cliff swallows, and I haven't had any chances recently, but I took a picture of these martin. They looked a bit grey, ashy. I didn't recognize them. I might have gotten them on another island, and I just don't remember it. But I took photos, got them back on the phone when I got some reception, and it turns out they're called purple martin. Now, when it showed the first picture and it said purple martin, I said, that's not purple. I went, okay, it's made a mistake. I went, oh, well, we know the score here. When it does this, the male can be very bright. So check if it's a juvenile or female. Sure enough, female. And I would go for juvenile because it was a flock. There were no male in there. So it must be a recently fledged flock of grey martin going over. So that's a little lifer. At this point, we might go home with maybe 10 lifers at most. We're going for a ride up the river today, the Negril River on a boat. I think it's going to be all for us because it was a private booking. So hopefully we'll be able to, when we see birds, we won't have to interfere with anyone's ride, and we can say, quick, stop here, let me get this bird. So I'll get back to you after that ride. That should be awesome. So I just got some video of the northern mockingbird, and I forgot to mention, I thought we'd be seeing loads because I saw them on the first day, the Jamaican woodpecker, and then we didn't see any for like a couple of days. And when I was speaking to a lady yesterday, she said, I thought that was, sorry, I just had to whip my camera up there. I thought that was another species of bird on the tree. It's just a mockingbird. I was speaking to a lady who said, yeah, you don't really see the Jamaican woodpecker here. And I went, okay, right, I haven't seen it for 2 days. I thought they were quite present everywhere because I saw it well on the first day. And I've just got a little bit of video of one there. So they are about intermittently if you get out and look. Right now, I'm kind of just scanning the trees. I move my head, wait and see if anything moves, any leaves, because there's no wind. So if any leaves or water drops, I'll know there's a bird somewhere there. But usually if it's not one of these mockingbirds, kingbirds, it's a white-crowned pigeon. Evening, folks. I have come round to the wood or bit of forest north of the resort, behind the market stalls and tents. The first time I've ventured here, it's the only place you can go that's out of the sun for a last minute bit of bird. It's the first time I've tried it. And there's a nice opening with things going by. I'm seeing the white-chinned thrush go by that I saw earlier as a lifer flying around. They've unfortunately just sprayed a load of that pesticide. They walked right through the property with it going just like that, and it drifts onto the beach. I don't know what to say about that. You know, I don't like it. It's not good. It's not good for the bugs, and then that goes into the birds and the ecosystem. Controversial. I'd rather just deal with the bugs and put spray on, to be honest. Nothing wrong with a bit of nature. Just live with it. Learn to deal with it some other way. Anyway, so the boat ride was good. It didn't get me any new species. $60 each. We had the boat to ourselves. It was a small boat with a little bit of cover. It was great. And it wasn't what I expected. I thought it was going to go into the Negril River from the south, in Negril, the west end, where we saw all the river boats. But he was taking us to the north Negril River North, where I stood on the bridge. If a couple of people, wow, you're the guy that stands on the bridge. They go by in the cars. And so we got a little go on the sea, which was nice because we haven't done that. We didn't bother this time because we saw the boats, the catamarans that people were going on, and they were jam-packed. And we just thought, yeah, we're not doing that because we've seen that before. They jam you onto these cats and you're on there for 3 hours in this heat. No, thank you. Glad we didn't do that. But we had this boat all to ourselves for about an hour, 15, hour and a half. Nice little ride along the sea all the way to the bridge that I stood on. And obviously the bird life is better in the morning because we didn't see any bird life going in. Certainly didn't see anything like brown noddies. We did see the kingfisher upriver. But yeah, we had to go quite far in. And he said to me, the reason they don't, I might drop for a second because I'm keeping an eye on any small birds that appear here. But he said the reason, oh, what's that? That's just a kingbird, I believe. Let me just have a check. Yep, are we kingbird? Oh, it's hidden behind the tree. I can't see it anyway. Yep, and that's definitely a kingbird, isn't it? It's sure got to be. You know what? I think that's the grey kingbird. Let me have a look. Come on, stick your head out. I think that's a grey kingbird. It doesn't have a black cap. Right, he's flown off. Where are you off to? Couldn't get a good picture anyway. I've got good pictures of good kingbirds anyway. But the reason he said they don't go in from the west end, because the river doesn't go very far in before it starts getting overgrown. And actually the river does go round. You could go round. Oh, what's going on here? There's a bit of chasing. Are these the thrushes I saw earlier? It could be. Yeah, they're making a call I don't recognize. And that was another pigeon. Now, yeah, he said the river that goes around and joins where I saw the boats down at the west end is all overgrown. You can't go through all the way around, and they actually want to do that, but they say, the powers that be aren't chopping away the mangroves and all the trees to get it out of the way, to make it a nice ride on a boat, so you can just go around from the sea in and come out the other end. He said, yeah, it'd be a great idea. We want to do it. I'm like, oh, maybe we can get this ball rolling. I'll put the video up of the trip, and something might come of it. I'm not saying it will, but first things first. No one's mentioned this river or done any videos on it, and we were out there on the boat alone, so nobody else wants to do it. And even if you don't see much, it's a nice day out for $60 each. Nice captain called TJ. It was just round the corner. He picked us up on the beach. We went out, dropped us off right on the beach of our hotel. And although I didn't see anything unusual, I got a pronothotary warbler, which I saw in Mexico. So not a lifer. Had to be quick on my because we were moving while it was inside a mangrove in a tree, and it was quite calm. We were going right towards it in the boat, and it was happily feeding until we got right onto it. But not a lifer. Other than that, did get some adult black yellow crowned night heron. Sorry, I'm just moving to the left here to see what those birds are that are landing on a tree. Come on, what are you? Something unusual. Please land somewhere where I can get a picture. What am I on? Yep, got the settings right. Where are you? Okay, we keep talking. What's this behind me? Something come out. It's probably a banana quit. These things behind me, all the little chirping behind me, I've seen them. The only other bird I've seen back here, a banana quit. Very light chirps. But I got the, hang on, what's that? No, that's just a leaf. It's a dead leaf. What were you? That's a pigeon. Lots of right, okay, these birds are, what are you? Oh, I think they're just a grackle. Is that just a grackle? Okay, I think that was the black-chinned. I had to really ramp up the ISO for that. Did I get you? I did. Is the eye sharp? Yeah, I'm happy with that. Luckily I was quick on my manual focus. It's about 90%. It just missed 100% sharpness. Right, okay, too bad. There you go. Get my settings back for birds out here. Right, you've got to be on your game here for manual focus and for adjusting for going from the light to the dark. Right, so what was it? Yellow crowned night heron adults, because I have some pictures from of the adults earlier in the week. And then snowy egrets, I couldn't grab any pictures of them, really difficult with the white. I wasn't adjusting fast enough because the birds that were taken off were the little blue herons, which I got several flight shots of. And it's just nice to see them. They're not lifers by any stretch of the imagination, but good to see them. I always look forward to seeing them when I come to the Caribbean. And I did see the kingfisher jumping around, but when you're on a boat and moving and you've got the bars of the canopy in the way, difficult to get it. And what were the other things? I did see some green herons, but no usable photos that I haven't got by the bridge and in other places. I've got some good flight shots earlier in the week on the bridge, but none of these were great. And there were things moving around at the back of the mangroves, but we couldn't see them. And the problem is when you stop the boat, you can't just say stop the boat right this spot because I want to take pictures of that bird, because you just start drifting and then the boat could start turning. And if he does reverse the engine, you start getting blasted with all the fumes. So, it's a nice little learner from it's not like a car where you can just stop and turn the engine off. You do start to drift. What are you? Well, I think I don't know what that is, but I'm at 800, yeah. Fire off loads, and then we flip to 4K crop. Holding my breath there. Now, it looks like a new bird, but I could have got that in Costa Rica or something. I didn't recognize it was like a mini kingbird, but that could be loads of different things. but I held my breath. It's going to be shaky, but I might be able to slow it down 50%. It was, yeah, it was almost like a mini loggerhead kingbird with a bit of yellow on the chest. So I don't think it's anything to do with the kingbirds. It's some sort of a flycatcher. I think, let me just check. I got my, wow, it's such a difference when you see, oh, you going left?
No,
Okay. On this muddy path that runs through the wood, they're even taking their bikes, which is great. So at least I know if I wanted to, I could keep walking through here, and it's pretty clear. I'm only in here with sandals. I'm taking my chances, but with them spraying all that stuff, there can't be much alive in here. But it's amazing when I'm just looking through photos, and the difference from this for my 4K crop is massive. You know what? I don't have internet signal. No, I need to keep. I'll check this later. I won't check what the species is, because if a bird shows up and I'm mucking around getting an ID on my camera, I'll kick myself. So I think we found a little secret here with this wood. Anything else? So let me go through my phone. Have I missed anything from the airplane mode? Yes, I know it's airplane mode. Just I look through my visuals, because I did a walkthrough of what's that? I did a walkthrough of the hotel because I planned to do a vlog review of the hotel like I said, I think I've said this earlier in the vlog. So I'm just looking through all my video of the walk to see if I need anything I've filmed I need to add. Yeah, I'm doing all the food, the boats. I've got loads of boat footage. You'll be able to see lots of footage on the vlog from the boat trip I just took. I'll be talking over the top of it because it's a little bit windy out at sea. And then I speak to the captain, I asked him if he's okay to be on film. He said yes. And yeah, it's just a couple of silly updates, but the two doves I got at the airport, and sorry, the one on the beach here, which I thought might be some sort of ground dove and a Zenaida, are actually a mourning dove. The one I got at the airport, the first dove, and the other bird is a white-winged dove. So they are two species, and they're not lifers. I got them in Costa Rica. So they're two. They're definitely two different species, which mean I get to keep them on the list of bird spotted, species spotted, but they're just not the birds I thought they were. And apart from that, I think we're good. We've caught up now for the day. If there's anything to add, I'll tell you what the kingbird is when I discover it tomorrow, the ID. Okay, if I don't see anything else, oh, hang on, yeah, small bird, land please, land. Where did you, I saw it, take off and land. It looked like the bird I just saw, a little bit of black, a little bit of yellow. Right. Yeah, I don't know, it's gone down into the scrub. Oh. It's very busy back here. Yeah, oh man. Yeah, there is a lot of action. Good. Yeah, this wood is untapped. What's that? Those are the parakeets. I've got those. Right. It's not too bad. I suppose I haven't put any spray on, and I suppose the fumigation is in a good way that I'm not getting bitten as I expect to. But I always find that when I build up a tan, you might be the same. When you build up a tan, you get bitten less. Like when you arrive in the country and you're all white, if you're white and you arrive in the country, you get eaten to death the first few days, and once you start building up the tan, it's like they leave you alone. So something must change with your hormones or your skin or something when you get darker. You can hear those little chirps behind me. I think those are banana quit. So I'm not going to get too fussed. Anyway, I keep waffling on even though I'm saying I'm going. I'll speak to you tomorrow unless there's something to add. Morning campers. We've got the olive-throated parakeets flying over there. I've got my Merlin open. I've got a camera on the tripod so I can keep it hands-free and just glance over. And it's just pulled up a scaly-breasted munia and an American redstart. Now the redstart would be a lifer. I've come back to the same spot as yesterday looking out at the trees in the morning because this is the most cover and the most birdsong and activity I've seen and heard. A couple of things flitting around, I've just missed them. I'll just catch up from yesterday. The two birds that I got, the yellow one was a prairie warbler. Now I was looking at that thinking that's a lifer, and then I was going through my records in my head and all the birds I'd seen in other countries, and I went, I think I saw that in Costa Rica, the last visit. And I went through this morning, yeah, I got it in Costa Rica, it was on the beach, so it's not a lifer. But the other thing, the flycatcher, it's endemic to Jamaica, and this is the worst name you can think of. It's called a sad flycatcher. Oh my gosh. Who named that? Jeez. That's hilarious. But anyway, at least I got that lifer. I came in this morning and the first stall I walked past, the water thrush was on the ground. I didn't even hear it. It was just there feeding. I went to get a picture and it took off because the lady was there setting up her stall, so it took off. Seen that, and I think I've seen the sad flycatcher again. I got a quick picture off. It looked a bit bigger. It might be the same bird because the other one, maybe yesterday I was looking at it from the front. But I'd love a picture of this is coming up, scaly-breasted munia. Yeah, I haven't got one of those yet from here. I've got it before, exceptionally sharp shots. I got them in, what was the first place? Dominican Republic, and even on the far side of Asia, in Kuala Lumpur. So I've got plenty of those, but I wouldn't mind a photo from here. Right, what are you? Please land somewhere. There's two little birds flying in. No, you've gone right over to the trees over there, which I can't see. But this is exciting. I should be able to hang in here and hide from the sun for a good hour or so. Now that looks like that's got to be an American kestrel. I'm not. No, it was too backlit. It's 6:30 in the morning. Well, 10 to 7. I've just looked over. So flight shots are going to be a bit of a no for about half an hour more, unless they come in right from the north with the light on them. But so far I'm having a good little time. I'm a bit angry. I've only just sort of discovered this spot, and if the sun comes out a bit more, I'll wade a bit deeper into the wood here where there's more cover. But this is where I'm looking, this big break in the path in the trees means I can see all the things that land on trees and bushes in front of me. What was that took off? That's probably just a pigeon, but we check. Yeah, I can see the white crown from a mile away, even though it's like 200 meters away. Little warbler coming in, maybe. What are you? Please land on that tree. No, you just fly into the back where I have no way of seeing where you are. And that is birding for you. All right, I'll speak to you in a minute. Oh, doing well so far. I think I've got another species of hummingbird. I've just turned on my Vodafone, my UK network, because I couldn't get a hold of a SIM. It's impossible out here. I don't know what's going on. So it's like £7.80 for one day, and I'm only here for one more day. And I was hoping to sort of get up some info online, and it can't connect back here. So that's money down the drain. Maybe if I move outside a bit further, it will show up. But what a pain in the neck. So I can't identify what this hummingbird is, sorry. I just had a banana quit right above my head, 6 feet above. I had to zoom right back, and I managed to get some film of it digging into a pod of whatever those are there. These green, they're like long green beans, thicker long green beans. I've been getting some better shots of the prairie warbler than yesterday, a bit sharper. I'm struggling with a bit of light. The sun's coming over the tree now and I'm starting to get hit by it. I've got the app running here, and it says black and white warbler. That would be a lifer that came up. A common yellow throat. I got that in LA, so that wouldn't be. So I'm looking for still an American redstart and this black and white warbler. But there has been a couple of the very noisy hummingbirds flying in and about, and I've tried to sort of they've been a bit distant, so I've tried to get my video up. I'm keeping a stick handy to balance my arm. Right, yeah, the sun's coming up now and it's starting to hit. I'm gonna have to hide behind a tree here. But I am absolutely just dripping with sweat. But this is the spot I'm coming to now. So just got to hope that later in the day the sun goes over the top where the trees can hide me. That's going to be the trick, and I can come out in the afternoon even though it will be very hot. Yeah, I just had a little green lizard behind me. I don't know what that was. And then there was a big scuffle, and it was two chasing each other through the leaves. It wasn't a bird. I thought it might be a bird, but there's constantly leaves dropping, and these leaves are huge, so they sound like a bird on the move. I'm getting bits and pieces of the sad flycatcher in video, and I think I got a little bit earlier of the white-chinned thrush, but a really scraggy looking one, so not great. I'm trying to get one of the really nice, clean, adult looking ones. Anything else to mention? Yeah, it's mostly the sad flycatcher. All of a sudden I'm seeing loads of it. Yep, and the kingbirds and the mockingbirds are keeping me on my toes. But you've got to check everything. You get into the habit sometimes of, oh no, it's probably that, and then you check it and you can see it's something different. And I just got the American black redstart, so the app wasn't making it up, it just appeared on the tree in front of me. There seems to be a magnet for flycatchers and other small birds. Awesome, so you can literally just watch this. I mean, the woodpeckers land there, hummingbirds. Yeah, they all seem to go through that tree. I've got to keep luckily I couldn't focus on the bird itself. Luckily, the camera focused on the surroundings and it was in that plane of focus, because I couldn't get my hand on the disable autofocus quick enough to zero in on the bird. But luckily, there was the plane of focus it was in was a flat area. Phew. Good, excellent. So now I'd love that, what's that called? The other one is the black and white warbler to show up. Right, we're back out in the middle of the day, back to the wooded, jungly bit south of the resort, because this is, yeah, I'm being covered by the trees here. It's definitely the place to come in the middle of the sunny daytime for sure. I mean, I'm dripping still, but it is like 10 degrees cooler for sure. So yeah, I think I thought I had another lifer. The first bird I saw, I thought it was another lifer, and I've just put it on my phone, and it turned out to be a female American redstart. So okay, panic over. I got some better photos of it than the male. It was kind of more yellow and grey and slightly blue. So, oh, turkey vulture over. Now, going back to earlier, I brought along a hummingbird feeder. I did just see a streamer here, the red-billed streamer, but yeah, I couldn't catch it in the dark. I've got them anyway. It didn't land. And sorry, just wiping the sweat off my face. I brought a hummingbird feeder. I filled it with sugar, 4-to-1 or 3-to-1. Put it out the back. I got confirmation that I was allowed to do it by a couple of gardeners, because they were obviously, I don't want to, put sugar out and attract ants and other insects. And they said, yeah, that's cool. And I've walked by it a few times, nothing's happening. So I doubt I'll get anything. I'm not going to hold any hopes for that. On the way back to the room this afternoon after breakfast this morning, a huge crab like the size of my fist. The body was the size of my fist, and the legs was walking along the grass and then fell into one of the private villa pools where they have the pool outside on the path, literally on the path. And it just fell in there. And I went back later on to see, and it was gone. And all the time we were sitting at the pool, we were listening out for the scream of when the residents in that room came out and saw this giant crab. I don't know how it got up. It must have been big enough to climb up the steps. Oh, I think am I caught up? Yeah, sorry, a couple of updates on birds. A little bird that was a very plain looking bird, looked like a seed eater of some type. I've just got confirmation of the ID, and it's a Jamaican euphonia. Now, I didn't get the male, it's a female, that's why it didn't really stand out. It was very, very bland. What was that? Sorry, this is gonna happen a lot as I see things flick over my head. Okay, I'm out in the open here at the back of my usual spot. I've just got to flick to am I at the right shutter speed? Yeah, capture anything flying over. And I don't know what did my camera catch that? I just used the dot sight. It was a small bird. All right, no, it caught edges of it. Zooming in. Right, it's something. It might be the euphonia, the blue one. I think it might have been that. If only I'd have caught that. Oh well, there you go. I've got to be quick. I had the tissue in my hand, I couldn't hold the dot on the bird very easily. So we'll give it a minute here, because this is very, very cool. This is different. This is a different, yeah. Oh, it's lovely. A nice breeze coming through. So all the sweat I've got on me is just being hit by this wind, and it's lovely. I've just been baking by the pool, like wanting to just crash out and fall asleep. So I'm going to put my stick down so my hands are free. I better check this setting on my dot sight to see if I have, because I keep bashing it by accident. What does that look like? I think that's pretty accurate, yeah. Pre-focus on a branch in front. So if a bird takes off, yep, done it right. So the Jamaican euphonia, which is a lifer and must be endemic to here. And the reason I wasn't recognizing the oriole, the white bits on the wings that were confusing me, is because it is endemic to Jamaica. It's a Jamaican oriole, another lifer. I think I've checked, and I should be at 13 lifers. Was there something earlier? No, it was I was thinking of the prairie warbler. Yeah, that I'd got before, and I thought it was a lifer, but I think I'm officially at 13 confirmed. Pretty accurate photos of these birds. Right, yeah, it's much quieter. Definitely the action is inside the woods, so I'm going to carry on through. What I want to do is I want to walk through this path all the way to the road to see where it comes out, and I want to film that for record purposes. But again, luckily I left it a bit late. I was getting a bit desperate to discover this place, but I've done it now. and I'll have gotten most of the birds that are in here. Everything I've seen that's been a lifer is starting to repeat, so it'll be very unlikely I'd see anything, you know, as many lifers I've been getting. I think I've had 3 or 4 in here in the last day, so I might get the odd job code through. But we're going to pop out, go walk through to the road, and this is I'm being completely covered by trees. What a difference. Yeah, I'm no longer streaming of sweat. Well, I just had a streamer, the red-billed streamer, by the market stalls. Flew past me, my face. I knew exactly with the long tail what it was. It looks more like a dragonfly, it's so small. And it is as friendly as it was at the garden. I could get so close to it, to the point I was trying to take a selfie of it, but it wouldn't let me get that close. But I was going to say, yeah, if I get a selfie of me in it, and I got enough photos of it, and I thought, I'm done now. I videoed it a bit, and then I went for slow-mo, and I got maybe 3 or 4 seconds of it. I don't think I got it in 100% focus, because it was moving around so quickly, and the tracking in this dark area was a bit tough. But a little bit of video that I didn't get at the botanical garden. And then just now, the parakeet, the olive-throated parakeet, has landed on one of those, I don't know if it's a wasp nest or termite nest or something up in a tree, or termites on the ground, I think. Whatever, there's some sort of nest up the tree and is biting away at that. I thought it was its nest, it's not. It's taking chunks of whatever it is away and eating it. I think it's something that damages the tree, it's something that leaks down. I'm looking at it now. It's like turns to a brownish liquid and makes its way down. Yeah, so, I mean, I'd have still gone to the botanical garden just in case. I didn't know I was going to get a streamer. I would have been panicking by today, and if I'd have seen that just now, I don't know, thank God I saw it. Evening, everyone. So, yeah, we're back at the jungly, woody area. I don't know what to call it. A mini wood, as we would call it in the UK. And it's a lot quieter than last night. You know, I must have just got lucky with all the things passing through. It's just been the usual kingbirds, the white-crowned pigeons, the parakeets, the occasional banana quit. The prairie warbler has shown very briefly. I got a little bit of footage. Oh, that's a swallow. I think if we can get a picture of that. It's going to be a distant one for sure. That was definitely bigger. I've been trying to get pictures of the palm swifts. My camera missed that completely. Yep, but it was bigger than a palm swift. I just haven't got any close. They haven't come close enough really for photos. And that was definitely some sort of a swallow. Right. Yeah. Okay. It's not going to happen this time around. Yeah. And yeah. So I've got little photos here and there of the banana quit, the kingbirds, bit of video. I think there's some woodpeckers in the tree in front of me, but I'm just trying to keep my hands free. I've got plenty of footage of those. What's he doing? He's kind of pecking away at a bush. The lighting isn't great, but I'm just trying to, what's that up there? On the end of a branch in the distance, that's a parakeet, another parakeet. Oh, hang on, that's a kingbird coming in. Yeah, I've been speaking to the locals. It's very interesting. They pretty much eat every bird here, and they get them with little catapults. The chap I was just speaking to, one of the market holders, said, yeah, climbs a tree and gets banana quit, makes a soup out of them. He says he gets 6 of them and they make like a stock because they're very small. So, it's, when I said, oh yeah, in England we, just go and buy chicken. He said, yeah, chicken are man-made birds. And, he's got a point. A lot of charities, RSPB and all the other things in the UK and Europe might think, oh my gosh, they kill and eat the birds. Yeah, it's a natural way of doing things, isn't it? The little kestrel, the little American kestrel, they said, yeah, the kids, if they see that, the kids will get the parrot catapult and get it, and scrape the wings off and the feathers and eat it, roast it. Yeah, that's a natural way of doing things. You fish, you catch the birds, normal. They said they don't eat the grackles. The grackles taste horrible. He laughed when I said that. And I said, what about the jancrows? And he laughed again. And he said, yeah, the turkey vultures. And he said, you call them turkeys? I said, no, turkey vultures. He said, one of your guys told me it was called a jancrow. And he said, yeah, we don't eat those. And he said, they clean up the environment. It's great. But yeah, so there's a little bit of trivia for you. But the bird charities in the UK would go ballistic if they heard that. Oh, hang on, what are you? I think you're just... Oh, I think that's this... Yeah, it's just a note. I think it's the kingbird. I thought it was the sad flycatcher. I think we're pretty much out of light now for flight shots. I'll go up to 6,400 and then we'll have to call it quits. This is it's the end of the second night and 10 to 6, so sunset's in about 15 minutes. But yeah, there's something calling on the left. But quite nice. We'll come out in the morning, we'll hit it hard for about 4 or 5 hours. We'll pack up everything tonight, leave some clothing out for tomorrow morning, a change of clothing for the plane, and a spare t-shirt in the bag, just in case of any problems on the flight home. Something's calling over there. But I think that's going to be it for tonight. For nice, yeah, I mean, yeah, I just got lucky last night. And again, the morning was even better. And I think mornings in general are better for birds. So we'll head out again tomorrow morning, and I'll see you then. Morning, folks. It's the last morning. It's about 5 hours until the coach picks us up. So I'll get one last little hit to see if I got any lifers. And I think I got one. You know what? That's really daft of me. I should have got it on my phone and looked at it to tell you. I will tell you, yeah, I'm not going to get my phone out because it cost me birds. I'm busy looking at my phone, transferring it. Plain looking thing. I'm trying to think. I'm sure I've seen a similar looking bird. It's all in the eye. Then again, it might not be. It might be a female or juvenile of something else I've seen. But it was very, very tame. I mean, it landed about 4 feet above my head. And no matter where I moved to get a good picture, I got good pictures, pictures that will be identifiable. Wherever I moved, it didn't budge. It just carried on about its business. It's been the most tame bird of all the birds so far. So the morning's always, I mean, you get to see all the resident birds. I heard the water thrush. I flushed a yellow-crowned adult night heron from behind the markets. They must be used to people, but yeah, I haven't got any seriously good photos from this holiday of them. I've got bits and pieces of the yellow-crowned night herons. That would have been a shame to miss. It's a shame to miss that. There was nobody there. That's probably why it was hanging around. But I've got them on other holidays, not a worry. But I'm seeing the black-whiskered bulbuls, and then he said the red-eyed Justin, get the right country. How about that? The black-whiskered vireo. Stop jumping over to Europe. And the banana quits. I've heard Merlin has picked up the American red starts. Haven't seen it. I've seen the prairie warbler when I was trying to get some video of the vireo, but these birds are jumping around through bushes. I just can't focus quick enough, manually focus. But it's okay. There's a lot of activity. It's gone quiet now. What you've got to do is listen for the chirping, because all the birds seem to sort of come together as a flock, as they do in every other country I've been to. And then you don't just get like one single random bird. I've also seen the thrush, lots of parakeets, white-crowned pigeons, all the usual suspects so far. A couple that were lifers not long ago. All right, we're just walking up towards the road bit while we've still got some cover from the sun. And this was a little dynamite zone yesterday. Okay, I will speak to you when I get some more bits. I just had a cracking little moment. I've looked through the photos, a black and white warbler. The Merlin picked it up, I think 2 days ago or yesterday. And I was like, really, is it really here, or did it hear something else? And I was underneath this tree. I just got okay, sorry, let me go back a bit. The bird I got that I thought was a lifer it's a Jamaican vireo, so subspecies. But the good thing is a lot of the birds here that look familiar, and I think, have I got them in another country? I kind of did, but they are subspecies here, the Jamaican. Excellent, so that's one lifer. And then this black and white warbler, second one. I came back to the same spot because I've been around and I haven't seen much. And there's a lot of action under this particular spot that's covered right over the path. And there's things feeding in here. The banana quits are coming back. And I saw the prairie warbler, well, I thought it was the prairie warbler earlier. Sorry, what's that? Got to keep my eyes open. Is that something? Oh, it's a tiny, tiny lizard, right? Okay, just catching my eye there. Oh, my motorcycle coming through. I think most of them know me as the Birdman. Is it the same people? But anyway, I didn't get any stunningly amazing shots either, but some of them are sharp. I didn't get any, with the harsh lighting, the shadows, all the branches. I just kept firing and firing and firing. I think I might have got about 3 to 4 sharp. None, I wanted like that lovely, side profile shot with all the color, the black and white, and something green in the background. I couldn't quite get it. There was always a bit of light behind it or a branch or something. And I took it was grabbing some stuff out of a dead leaf, maybe some bugs breaking into it. And I put it on slow-mo to try and capture as much footage as possible. Once I'd grabbed a few photos, I thought, wow, I've got a couple of photos, get a bit of video. And then I played around with it, and it was as tame as that Vireo. I mean, it literally just moved around me 2 to 3 feet away. And I'm struggling, stepping back, trying to get the good angle, going over to the sun side. So the sun was behind me and lighting it up better, because the first time I saw it, it had the sun behind it. But yeah, I'm just gonna, if I've seen it twice here, I might have mistaken it earlier for the prairie warbler, and it might come back through. I just didn't see how black and white it was. But that's, I mean, a lot of people go, a bit, over the top, a bit overzealous with their, stunning bird, look at this, what a cracker, rah, rah, rah. And it's just some clay colored something. This is a really good looking bird, little tiny thing, black and white stripes. Yeah, beautiful bird. It doesn't have to be colorful to be, beautiful, but yeah, the pied colors, the black and whites. Wow, excellent. So 2 lifers this morning, definitely worth the effort of coming out. What's the time? We're coming up to 8. I said to my wife about 8 for breakfast. I'll walk back, get the Wi-Fi, because I've turned on my Vodafone yesterday to get 4G, and it is absolutely useless. £7.85 down the drain, and it doesn't even work. So, and it linked onto the Digicel network, which is the main network. So if I'd have bought a SIM, I might have not even been able to use it anyway. The point was to be able to use it outside of the complex, to keep in touch, to use the internet for ID things and things like that. Thankfully with Merlin, you can download all of the sounds and birds onto your phone. So you can be out away from any kind of data signal and still be able to ID birds, thankfully. So I did that. Remember folks, that's what you need to do. Right, 10 more minutes here, then we'll go back, get signal, message, and I'll have a bit of breakfast. I'll probably come back out for 1 more hour, and then I can, get back in with 3 hours to 2.5 hours to spare. I'm all packed mostly. I can just throw everything in the bag, or roughly throw it and then hit reception, and while I'm relaxing waiting for the bus, do a bit of editing. And I've started editing the first vlog, and I'm gonna hope, if I can, might be able to try and post it before we leave, so it's coming out just as we're landing. Otherwise, I'll get it up on Saturday afternoon. Yeah, I think we're going to call that quits. I'm just about to meet Hannah for breakfast. By the time we've had that, yeah, I think it's going to be too hot now. I'm done. I want to round it off with a little bit of a break. I don't want to panic, because in the future I'll remember the panic. And I think, no, get into the habit of leaving a couple of hours between going out and getting on the coach, with a little bit of a breather, nice shower, cool down, have a nice cold drink. That's good. So I think we've ended up with 15 confirmed lifers. 50, where are we? Let's have a check. 55 species, good. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 13, 14, 15 lifers. That's good, because I was being conservative and said I'm going to get 10 to 15 lifers, because I've got most of the Caribbean birds, all the green herons and snowy egrets, little blue herons, turkey vultures, and they appear on all the islands. It's only the smaller, maybe endemic ones that you're going to get now. So there's no way I was going to get like 30 or 40 lifers. 10 to 15 is very good. I thought the upper end was 15. That's pretty good. I got my upper end, and there's still a good chance of that. So awesome. I hope you enjoyed the vlog. Let me know any comments if you want to ask about Negril, the hotel, what to expect, blah, blah, blah. But awesome. What a great little holiday. A nice little week. A week was plenty. It was very hot. I couldn't imagine staying another 2 weeks unless we were going further in and doing some other things. We've pretty much had a nice little, well, I've been running around like a fly. So different for me. But anyway, hope you enjoyed, folks. See you in the next podcast.